The bedroom door slammed shut with a force that rattled the windows, and I froze, heart pounding, as my husband's voice echoed through the house like thunder. "You're nothing but a disappointment, Emily," he snarled, his words slicing deeper than any knife, leaving me crumpled on the floor in tears. But in that shattering moment, as I wiped my face and glanced at my phone, a message from Sarah popped up. "I can't hide it anymore. I love you," sending my world into a tailspin I never saw coming. I stared at the screen, my breath catching in my throat. Sarah, my best friend for over a decade. The one person who had always been there through the endless arguments with Mark, now confessing something that felt both impossible and inevitable. How had we gotten here? Married at 25 to Mark, the ambitious lawyer who charmed everyone at our wedding in upstate New York, I thought stability was the answer to my chaotic upbringing. But stability turned cold, like the sterile kitchen where we'd eat in silence, or the bed where he'd turn away night after night. "Focus on your career," he'd say, dismissing my dreams of writing as frivolous. And Sarah? She was the warmth in my life, the graphic designer from Seattle who'd moved to our Chicago suburb after her own divorce, always ready with coffee and conversations that lasted until dawn. That night, after Mark stormed out to clear his head, code for another late-night bar crawl, I called Sarah. "What do you mean?" I whispered, my voice trembling as I paced the living room, the city lights flickering through the blinds like judgmental eyes. She hesitated, then said, "Emily, every time we're together, it's like the world makes sense. I see how he treats you and it kills me. You deserve more." Her words hung in the air, stirring something buried deep inside me, a flicker of recognition I'd ignored for years. Was this why our hugs lingered? Why her laugh made my pulse race? But no, I told myself, pushing it down. I'm straight. Married. Normal. The next morning, guilt gnawed at me as I brewed coffee, the aroma doing nothing to soothe the storm in my mind. Mark returned hungover, muttering apologies that felt as empty as our vows. "We need to try harder," he said, but his eyes were on his phone, already drifting to work emails. I nodded, forcing a smile, but inside questions swirled. What if Sarah was right? What if this numbness wasn't just marriage fatigue, but something missing at my core? I texted her back. "We need to talk. In person." My fingers shook as I hit send, knowing this could unravel everything. We met at our usual spot, a quiet cafe in Lincoln Park, where the autumn leaves crunched underfoot like brittle secrets. Sarah arrived looking radiant, her hazel eyes locking onto mine with an intensity that made my stomach flip. "I'm sorry if I freaked you out," she began, stirring her latte nervously. But I cut her off. "You didn't. Or maybe you did. But why now?" She leaned in, her voice low. "Because watching you suffer with him is torture. Emily, you're vibrant, creative, he dims your light. And me? I've been in love with you since that road trip to Michigan 2 years ago, when we shared that hotel room and talked all night." Memories flooded back. The way she brushed my hair from my face during a thunderstorm, the shared blanket on the couch during movie nights when Mark was away. I chalked it up to friendship, but now doubt crept in. "I'm married, Sarah. This isn't. This can't be." My mind raced with images of my conservative parents in Texas, their lectures on family values, the church weddings they dragged me to. What would they say? Disown me? And Mark, he'd be furious, humiliated. Yet as Sarah reached across the table, her hand grazing mine, a spark ignited, warm and terrifying. That evening back home, Mark noticed my distraction. "What's with you?" he snapped, tossing his briefcase down. I hesitated, then lied. "Just work stress." But inside, turmoil brewed. How could I feel this pull toward Sarah when I'd built my life around him? Was it betrayal to even consider it? I lay awake that night, staring at the ceiling, whispering to myself, "You're not like that. You're not." But the denial felt hollow, like a script I'd been reading from someone else's life. Days blurred into a haze of avoidance. I threw myself into my freelance writing gigs, pounding out articles on women's empowerment that now rang ironic. Sarah texted sparingly, giving me space, but each message was a lifeline. "Thinking of you." Mark, oblivious, planned a dinner party for his colleagues, insisting I play the perfect wife. "Smile more," he coached, as if I were an accessory. As guests arrived, I plastered on a grin, But my thoughts drifted to Sarah, wondering what a life without pretense might feel like. Then the breaking point. During the party, Mark belittled me in front of everyone. "Emily's still chasing that novel dream," he joked, eliciting laughs. Humiliation burned, and I excused myself to the bathroom, tears streaming. Called Sarah. "I can't do this anymore," I sobbed. She arrived within minutes, pulling me into her car outside. "You don't have to," she said, her voice steady. As we drove aimlessly through the city, I confessed, "I think I feel it too. But what about everything else?" She pulled over, turning to me. "We'll figure it out. Together." That night marked the shift. We talked until sunrise in her apartment, unpacking years of suppressed feelings. No kisses, no rushes, just raw honesty. But guilt shadowed every word. Was I selfish for wanting happiness? Or brave? As dawn broke, I knew one thing. Returning to Mark meant burying myself alive. The decision weighed on me like an anchor, dragging me deeper into self-doubt as I slipped back into the house before Mark woke. He stirred, mumbling about the party, but I barely heard him. My mind replayed Sarah's words. "You deserve to be seen." Seen, a concept foreign in my marriage, where I was backdrop to his ambitions. That morning over breakfast I tested the waters. "Mark, do you ever feel like we're drifting?" He glanced up from his newspaper, annoyed. "What now? If you're unhappy, fix it." No empathy, just deflection. Inside, anger simmered. Why had I settled for this? I met Sarah again that afternoon, this time at her studio downtown, surrounded by canvases splashed with vibrant colors, a stark contrast to my grayscale life. "I'm scared," I admitted, pacing. "My family. They'll never understand." She nodded, her expression pained. Mine didn't at first either. Coming out at 28 cost me friends, but it gave me freedom. Freedom, the word echoed in my chest, stirring envy and terror. What if I lost everything? My parents' calls already probed. When are grandkids coming? The pressure to conform, to be the dutiful daughter, clawed at me. As days passed, the secrecy amplified the tension. Stolen moments with Sarah. A walk in Grant Park, her hand brushing mine felt electric, but each goodbye twisted the knife. "This is wrong," I'd think, staring at my wedding ring. Yet denying it felt worse. One evening Mark confronted me. "You've been distant. Is there someone else?" My heart stopped. "No," I lied, the word tasting like ash. But his suspicion lingered, turning our home into a battlefield of unspoken accusations. The internal conflict raged. Loyalty to vows versus authenticity to self. I journaled furiously at night, pages filled with questions. Am I gay? Bi? Or just lonely? Labels terrified me, evoking memories of high school whispers about those girls. Society's gaze felt omnipresent, the news headlines about LGBTQ rights, the church billboards condemning sin. Was loving Sarah sin? Or was staying with Mark the real betrayal? Sarah pushed gently. "You can't live a lie forever." We attended a support group anonymously, in a community center on the outskirts of Chicago. Hearing others' stories, the pain of hiding, the joy of acceptance, cracked my defenses. One woman shared, "I left my husband for her, and it saved my soul." Tears welled as I imagined that for myself. But afterward, doubt resurfaced. What about the kids we never had? The house we bought? The life we built? Then betrayal struck from an unexpected angle. Mark, rifling through my phone while I showered, found our texts. He exploded as I emerged, towel-clad and vulnerable. "Who the hell is Sarah? I love you? You're cheating with a woman." His face contorted in disgust, not just anger. "This is sick, Emily. Fix it or get out." The ultimatum hit like a slap. I grabbed clothes and fled to Sarah's, sobbing on her doorstep. "He knows." She held me as I unraveled, whispering assurances. But inside, shame flooded. I'd hurt him, shattered our facade. Was this the price of truth? That night, curled on her couch, I wrestled with morality. Cheating emotionally, was it justified? Or had I become the villain? Sarah's presence soothed, but questions haunted. Could I rebuild without destroying others? The next day my parents called, Mark having ratted me out. "What's this nonsense?" Dad bellowed. You're throwing away your marriage for some phase? Mom cried. Think of the family. Their words pierced, dredging up childhood expectations. Be good, marry well, conform. I hung up, trembling, but a spark of defiance ignited. This isn't a phase, I told Sarah. It's me. Yet the fallout escalated. Friends divided, some supportive, others judgmental. How could you do this to Mark? One texted. Isolation crept in, amplifying the emotional toll. Sarah faced her own demons. My ex used this against me in court. We clung to each other, but cracks formed. Are you sure? She'd ask, fear in her eyes. My indecision hurt her, a cycle of pain. As weeks turned to months, I filed for divorce, the lawyer's office cold and clinical. Signing papers felt like severing a limb, but also liberating. Mark fought dirty, demanding assets, smearing my name. She's unstable, he claimed. The courtroom battles drained me, each hearing a reminder of the cost. But through it, Sarah stood firm, her love a anchor amid the storm. Divorce proceedings dragged like a wound that wouldn't heal, each court date peeling back layers of resentment I'd buried for years. Mark's lawyer painted me as the flake, the one who abandoned stability for confusion. I sat there, fists clenched under the table, thinking, if only they knew how empty that stability was. Sarah waited outside, her texts a lifeline. You're strong. Remember that. But strength faltered when I faced my reflection. Who was I without the roles I'd played? Post-hearing, I drove to my parents for a confrontation I dreaded. The flight to Texas felt eternal, my mind a whirlwind of defenses. This is who I am, I'd rehearse. Landing in Dallas, the humid air suffocated, mirroring my anxiety. At their doorstep, Mom opened with tears. How could you? Dad loomed behind, arms crossed. This isn't you, Emily. It's that woman influencing you. Their words stung, evoking Sunday school lessons on traditional love. I pushed back. It's not influence. It's truth. But doubt whispered, what if they're right? What if I'm ruining lives for a whim? The argument escalated, voices rising like a tempest. Think of the shame. Mom wailed. Neighbors whispering, church friends judging. Society's weight crushed. In America, progress boasted, but in suburbs and families, old prejudices lingered. I fled to a hotel, calling Sarah. They hate me. She soothed. They fear change. Give time. But time felt like an enemy, ticking toward irreversible choices. Back in Chicago, Sarah's patience waned. I can't be your secret forever, she said one night, as we sat on her balcony overlooking the glittering skyline. Her vulnerability hit hard. She'd come out years ago, paying dearly with lost jobs and estranged siblings. Loving you means risking it all again. Guilt surged. Was I using her as a crutch? My indecision became a weapon, wounding us both. A pivotal moment came at a family gathering Mark organized, ostensibly for closure. Friends and relatives gathered in our now his backyard, the air thick with tension. Whispers followed me. Poor Mark. When he pulled me aside, his eyes pleading, come back. We can fix this. Temptation flickered, the easy path, familiarity. But as I spotted Sarah waiting in her car across the street, resolve hardened. No, Mark. It's over. Walking away, I felt the burn of judgmental stares, but also a budding freedom. Yet freedom came with thorns. My writing suffered. Editors noted the edge in my pieces, born of raw pain. One article on societal expectations for women went viral, but backlash followed. Online trolls labeling me homewrecker. The digital mob amplified inner voices. You're selfish. Immoral. Sarah faced similar heat at work, colleagues side-eyeing her. Is it worth it? She'd murmur in quiet moments. As the divorce finalized, relief mingled with grief. Signing away the house, the shared dreams. It gutted me. Mark's final words. You'll regret this. Did I? Nights alone, I pondered the moral maze. Was leaving for love ethical? Or had I prioritized self over vows? Sarah's embrace answered partially, but shadows lingered. Social ripples widened. Old friends ghosted, new ones emerged from LGBTQ circles. At a pride event, my first colors and acceptance overwhelmed. But even there, imposter syndrome struck. Am I queer enough? Sarah laughed it off, but I envied her certainty. The ultimate test. My sister's wedding back home. Attending meant facing family en masse. Bring Sarah, she urged, the only supportive voice. We went hand in hand under scrutinizing eyes. Whispers turned to confrontations. An aunt cornered me. This is against God. Defiance rose. Love isn't sin. But inside the clash tore. Faith versus identity. The wedding aftermath lingered like a bruise. Family texts oscillating between pleas and condemnations. Come home alone, Mom begged. We can pray it away. Prayer, the word evoked childhood kneelings. Begging for normalcy I'd never questioned. Now it felt like chains. Sarah sensed my turmoil. You don't have to fight every battle, she said, but retreating meant defeat. Inside, the war intensified. Sacrifice family for self? Or suppress self for peace? Professional fallout added layers. My agent dropped me, citing controversy. Clients want relatable, not radical. Radical for loving a woman? Rage fueled a new piece. The cost of authenticity in modern America. It exploded online, drawing allies and enemies. Supportive messages poured in. You're brave. But hate mail stung. Disgusting choice. Choice, was it? Or innate truth unearthed? Sarah and I navigated cohabitation, her apartment becoming our haven. Yet, intimacy's shadow loomed, not physical but emotional. I feel like I'm pulling you, she confessed one stormy night. Thunder mirrored my chaos. No, I assured, but doubt festered. Was our bond real or rebound? Therapy sessions unpacked it. Repressed feelings manifest in crisis. Insights helped, but healing demanded confrontation. A betrayal cut deep. My best friend from college, once confidant, leaked details to Mark. He used them in a spiteful social media post. Beware the deceivers. Humiliation piqued Sarah, furious. How dare she? We cut ties, but loss accumulated, each severance a scar. Is this the price? I'd whisper at night, staring at the ceiling. Sarah's response. For us? Yes. Moral dilemmas peaked during a community panel on LGBTQ rights. Invited to speak, I hesitated. What if it alienates more? Sarah urged. Your voice matters. On stage, words flowed. I lost a marriage, family ties for love. Was it right? Society says no, but my heart screams yes. Applause mixed with boos, mirroring my soul's divide. Post-panel, a young woman approached. Your story saved me. Impact hit, my pain rippled positively. But at what cost? Sarah's job suffered. A promotion denied due to distractions. Guilt crushed. I'm sorry. She shrugged. We're in this. Her resilience inspired, but I questioned my worthiness. Family reconciliation tempted when Dad fell ill. Rushing to Texas, Sarah by my side, we faced the hospital room standoff. She's not welcome, Mom snapped. Hurt flared. Then neither am I. Walking out, tears blinded. Inside. Was standing firm heroic or stubborn? The drive back silent, laden with unspoken fears. Awakening came gradually. Volunteering at a shelter for queer youth. Stories echoed mine. Rejection, self-doubt. Mentoring one teen, mirroring my younger self, clarified. Hiding perpetuates harm. Be true, I advised, hypocrisy gone. Yet, cracks in our relationship widened. Sarah's ex resurfaced, offering stability. She's safe, Sarah admitted during a heated argument. Jealousy surged. Go then. Regret immediate, we reconciled tearfully. I choose you, she vowed. But the scare amplified stakes. Love demanded constant choice. As seasons shifted, acceptance bloomed unevenly. Some friends returned apologetic. My writing revived, infused with authenticity. But shadows persisted. Nightmares of isolation, moral quandaries unresolved. Illness's shadow forced reevaluation. Dad's recovery slow but steady. Phone calls softened. We miss you, Mom said, no mention of Sarah. Temptation to compromise arose, visit alone? But integrity won. She's part of me. Silence followed, then tentative. Bring her. The visit was tense, conversation skirting truths. Dad's frail hand in mine. I don't understand, but you're my daughter. Tears bridged gaps but full acceptance eluded. Inside bittersweet. Progress at empathy's price. Back home, Sarah proposed a commitment ceremony, small and symbolic. To affirm us. Joy mingled with terror. Public declaration invited more judgment. Planning amplified conflicts. Invite family? Friends? Each decision a moral tightrope. What if they reject? I'd fret. Sarah. Then we know who stands with us. The ceremony in a lakeside park gathered a handful. Loyal allies, my sister. Vows exchanged. Rings slipped on, a defiant act against societal norms. But absence stung. Parents' empty seats, Mark's lingering ghost. Euphoria tempered by loss. Was this victory or Pyrrhic? Post-ceremony reality bit. A job offer in New York for Sarah sparked debate. It's a fresh start, she urged. But uprooting meant abandoning Chicago's remnants. Indecision paralyzed. Cling to past or embrace future. Arguments escalated, raw emotions spilling. You're holding back, she accused. Truth hit. Fear still chained me. Resolution demanded sacrifice. Accepting the move, we packed, each box a farewell. En route, doubts assaulted. Right choice? Moral. Arrival in bustling Manhattan overwhelmed, but Sarah's hand grounded. New circles welcomed, but old wounds festered via sporadic family calls. When will you come to your senses? Professional triumph followed. My book deal, chronicling the journey, sparked debates. Reviews polarized. Inspirational versus selfish manifesto. Public scrutiny intensified inner turmoil. Had I glamorized betrayal? A final confrontation. Mark's unexpected email, seeking closure. Meeting in a neutral cafe, he looked worn. I forgive you. Forgiveness? Rage boiled. For what? Being myself. He admitted faults. I was cold. Mutual apologies flowed, but no absolution. Walking away, lighter yet burdened. Forgiveness didn't erase damage. With Sarah, love deepened but trials persisted. A miscarriage scare. We discussed adoption. Shattered illusions of ease. Grief bonded but questioned, worth the pain? Affirmative yet costly. Years condensed into reflection. Choices reshaped lives, some mended, others fractured. Society evolved but personal battles endured. In quiet moments I'd ponder. Did the ends justify the means? Was betraying a loveless marriage for true love morally defensible? Or does it undermine the sanctity of commitment?